Okay kids, so today we're going to be making this Eric Carle inspired artwork, and it's actually from the book right here. So when you're making Eric Carle artwork, you need lots of paper and lots of different like textures and ideas, because he uses this beauty called texture to create his art. And so this is what we're creating. You'll watch me throughout the video, and what you're going to need to go get before you watch the rest of the video is you need 2 pieces of yellow construction paper, 1 piece of blue construction paper, and then 1 piece of brown construction paper. You need watercolors, you need scissors, some sort of white paint. I use acrylic paint, but you could also use poster paint, tempera paint, whatever kind of white paint you want to use. You need a glue stick, and you need a cotton ball. You probably need 3 or 4 cotton balls, and you'll see why. So if you'll go gather these supplies, then we can create the Eric Carle art. Hi kids, I was going to show you how to do Eric Carle artwork really quick, and it's really simple. So this is our book today, and we're going to create the sun that is on page, well, we don't have page numbers, but you see the sun right there. We're going to create the sun, and how we're going to do that is we're going to take yellow paper, and I'm going to get some blue paper and a little bit of brown paper, and we're going to make this with some tape and some glue and some watercolors. So if you have all of those things and you have yellow paper, you can even start with white paper, but we're going to get our paints wet. I'm going to get some orange on here, and I'm going to just paint. Doesn't really matter how it looks, because we're going to be cutting this out. That's the cool thing, is it's kind of like going to have some texture to it. I love Eric Carle art. It has so much texture. He even uses bubble wrap to create some texture. He creates texture using lots of different things. So there's my orange that I painted on top of yellow paper. Simple, very simple. I'm also going to do it to another piece of paper right here, and just same thing. I already started it a little bit. I'm just going to create some texture by adding some orange on top of the yellow paper. Doesn't matter which way it goes, because this is going to be cut out. Okay, so you're going to let that dry. Okay, on your blue piece of construction paper, I think I said you needed a blue piece of construction paper. On that piece of construction paper, you're going to need some white paint. You can use tempera paint, you can use acrylic paint, any type of white paint that you have, and you're going to need a couple cotton balls. So I have a couple cotton balls. So you're going to take your paint and put some onto a tray. I'm using a paper plate, and I'm going to take my cotton ball, and I'm just going to kind of spread this everywhere on my plate. Just kind of like thin it out and spread it like that. Okay? And then I want to probably set this guy aside, because he's got a lot of paint on him. Now I'm going to take another guy, and I'm going to spread this out, kind of like that. Just kind of like open him up a little bit. Then I'm going to dip it in my paint like that. Just lightly put it in, lift it up, and then you're going to put it on your paper, and put it on your paper, put it on your paper. Do it again. Dip it into your paint, and get it up, and put it on your paper, all different places. Get another cotton ball if it starts to get too yucky. Open your cotton ball up, get some paint, and we're going to put this white paint all over our blue paper. Okay? All the way to the ends. So it looks like it's the types of clouds that just kind of sprinkle the sky with their beauty, and the white flecks of cloud. So there are my white clouds all over my blue piece of paper. I used a cotton ball and paint. You can use acrylic paint or tempera paint or whatever you have on hand. Poster paint. You will get a little paint on your fingers. If you're not messy in art, you're not having fun, but that's okay. Okay, so now I have my blue paper that has my speckled clouds. I have my yellow papers that are dried with my orange watercolor paint all over it, and you will see what I do next. Okay, so we are going to be making this sun right here that's in a window, and how you're going to do that is start with your blue piece of paper, and you're just going to cut in about 3/4 of an inch or so. And on the top, you start to curve the top, curve it to the other side. So it looks like that. See that? So it looks like a shape of like a curved window. And then we're going to take this. Ava, could you get me the glue up there, please, on the green shelf? Then we're going to take this and we're going to either tape, whatever you guys have at home. If you have tape, then use tape. If you have glue, then we're going to use glue. Is there any glue sticks up there? No? Okay. Yeah, get the package of glue sticks. Do you see the package of glue sticks right there? Sorry, you guys, we are not professionals here. We are going to our shelf of goodies right now. And so sorry that you could hear that. All right, here's my glue stick. I'm going to use a glue stick, and I'm going to take this big piece of blue paper, and I'm going to put glue all over it, especially on the edges, you guys, because that's the part that's the most important to secure, is always the edges of your pictures. All right, now I'm going to lay this a little bit set where it's kind of framing my picture. See that? And I spread it down. All right. Now in your picture, you will notice, I'm going to take us back to our picture, that the brown is also curved. So it's one of those curved windows. So what I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm going to trim a little edge and just follow the blue. Follow the blue, let the blue be your guide. Okay, so now you have a blue framed, or a blue window that's framed in brown wood. What do we do with these guys here? We are going to make our sun. So I'm going to take my first one, I'm going to cut a big circle. Now you guys might want to use like a bowl or something like that to give you a circle shape. Carle didn't really care about perfect shapes. So I'm just going to eye it, and I'm going to put my sun right there. I'm going to go back to my picture and see, is that about the shape and size? Yeah, it's about right. So I'm going to put my sun right there. And what do I do to secure him? I'm going to use glue. And remember, the edges is the most important part in crafting. You want to get the edges, lots of glue on the edges. Okay, so I'm going to put my sun right here. Okay, glue your sun down. Okay. Now with your other piece of paper, I want you to just start cutting like long triangle, or not triangles. Mrs. Bishop is not your math teacher. Long rectangles, just lots of long, thin rectangles. So I'm going to fast forward this part. You're going to cut long rectangles. Okay, so I have a pile of long rectangle cuts. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of lay them on here. And sometimes Carle put them over like this where they go off to the edge. but this is where you're gonna wanna use your scissors to trim different sizes. So I'm gonna have this one kind of go off the edge there. I'm gonna have a little guy right here. I'm gonna have an even littler one right here. Maybe a longer one right there. And you're gonna start building your sun however you want to build the rays coming off of the sun. So I'm clipping them to the sizes that I think they should be. And you just kind of go slow and you build your sun. Even this guy can be even tinier. And this guy could be big. So I'm gonna pause it really quick or fast forward it in your video so that you can see. I'm gonna glue these down and you'll see my sun in just a moment. Okay, so here is my sun that is in a window. I'm gonna show you my book, the Eric Carle book. There he is right there. And there my sun is there. If you want to add eyes, nose, and a mouth, just like in the picture, you would paint them on there with a little bit of orange paint. So I'm gonna paint my eyes, my nose, and my mouth. I'm gonna do my best. Practice makes progress, and I don't know how this is gonna turn out, so I'm just gonna do my best. So I'm gonna paint my eye, and I just kind of shape it like that. My eye, get some more water. Oops, that's too much. And if it's too dark, you add some water and you spread it. My nose, and a little bit of a sly mouth. Start here. Now, if in watercolors you don't like something, you can actually take your paper towel and take some off like that. Isn't that cool? I just took a little bit off, then I'm gonna use my paintbrush and smooth it. And there we go. So there is my sun inside of a window, and it's Eric Carle themed or inspired, and it came from the book that we read today in class called Walter the Baker by Eric Carle. I love his artwork, so we tried to make this, and we did pretty good. So I want to see what you guys can come up with when you make this at home. All right, kids. Have fun creating art inspired by the beautiful imagery found in Walter the Baker.